Alright. So, let's say you just have gotten yourself an avatar. You've imported it into your scene. So, like a file like this, you've dragged it in, imported it, all that stuff. But now you want to retexture it. So, how do you get started with that? Well, first you want to find either the FBX file or ideally FBX file. So we're going to go into here, find our FBX, and then we're going to right click on our mouse and go to Show in Explorer. That's going to bring us here, and what you're going to do is copy what's in this tab using Control C. That will copy it to your clipboard, and then you can get out of Unity and go into a empty scene in Blender. There's no I don't have any preferences that I need that you don't need any preferences enabled to do this. What you do need to do though is go to import FBX. I'm going to turn off animation, but I don't think you need to do that. But you're going to go over here to this similar tab and press Control V. And that brings up the FBX that you had showed in Explorer. This is the same one that's going to be in our scene here, and you can export to that same location as long as you have that information. But for now, we're going to import. Let's turn stuff down. Those are blend shapes, by the way. That's in the data section. The stuff that looks like 3 little points. Now, let's say you want to, well, we already want to retexture this. We're going to go on the third viewpoint shading. This allows you to see certain lighting conditions and the base texture. But instead of going to texture paint, we're going to go to shading. This is because it will allow us to go over here into the nodes. By the way, you want to have use nodes enabled. This will allow you to see the image files, see what the base color is, and stuff like that. And slot 1 is going to be the first material that's shown on this object. And of course is the body. So if I click the X, there's no material, so it's going to be black. And if you create a new image, it'll be black by default. If you want really high quality, you can go for 4096 or something like that. That's going to be 4K resolution. But we don't care about resolution for this example. And if you disconnect the nodes right here, then you won't get that color, but you will be able to change the base color here and other information. Anyway, from here we can go to texture paint. Since there's already UV, we don't have to do that. But assuming you don't have your UV set up, you would press maybe I think we'll come back to that later. Anyway, when you're trying to texture on these models, often it's a good idea to mirror it, which on your scroll wheel you can change this row by using the scroll wheel until you get here. That X will mirror it on the X-axis, Y would be on the Y-axis, and Z on Z-axis, but I usually don't use the Z-axis or Y-axis. So for example, if I'm just coloring this hand, but I have it mirrored, it'll also take care of it on this side. Generally, doing this cuts your work time in half. And as you can see, whatever I do here appears on UV. Now, if you want to save your image here, you're not going to Control S. What you're going to do is go onto this side, make sure your cursor is over the image, and hit Control Spacebar. That will bring the image up to your front, and you go here to Image, Save As, and then you're going to make a name for it. We'll call this Poopy Head. And now you have an image texture that you can use on your model. So we can go over here into our files. We got Poopy Head. And we're going to right click, create material. Now, standard shader is going to be okay, but only for PC. So what we want to do is left click, VR chat, mobile, Toonlit, or standard light are both good options. This is Toonlit, but I'm going to go standard light on this one. Now, if I mess with the metallic, that'll and the smoothness, that can mess with how it looks, but it keeps the same general color. Matte capping is also a good option. The same thing will apply to any clothing that this model has, or any separate objects. Now, let's cover some of the other things. Now, if you press, so let's assume you haven't unwrapped your model yet. You don't have any UV for to normal map or texture your avatar correctly. What you would press is U, and Shift U or just U. What you want to do is Smart UV Project. That will bring up this menu, and what this does is it separates all of the mesh into a easy to texture format. This is just something that you do if you're a beginner, though. Professionals, they can mark seams and stuff to make it a lot more smooth. Like this hue, this was done by actual professional. Oh yeah, and when you're trying to, I'll show exporting. So let's assume you want to add a blend shape to your avatar, but you don't want to go through all the work of redoing everything in Unity again. What you do is you take your same model. Let's say we just want to add a blend shape. You know, just maybe make his head big. So what we're going to do here is go into the first shader type that allows X-ray. We're going to take the head and scale it up. We're going to do this in edit mode, by the way. This is how to make any shape key. You need to make sure the basis has stayed the same. And from the basis, you're just going to have click the basis, click check, and then immediately go into edit mode. That's how you and start doing whatever you want. That's all there is to making a shape key. Once you go in object mode, it should look completely normal as if you did nothing at all. And over here in value, you can drag that up. Though do keep in mind this can be added on to other blend shapes, and if you do it incorrectly, it can have a weird look. It's like, let's say I do this blend shape, this blend shape. Let's just turn all these blend shapes up, right? It's going to look a little bit weird. Now, individually, these blend shapes look fine, but together, no. So we'll just turn all these back off. Okay, back to the export, FBX. Now, when we export this to FBX, it will export everything in the scene. So you have to make sure the only thing that you're exporting is the avatar itself. Now we're going to go back to the search bar, and since we still have the avatar copy to our clipboard, we're going to press Control V again, and then left click to let it update, and we can select it here. Now before we export, we're going to turn off animation, disable leaf bones, and disable modifiers. If you have something like the solidify modifier on, but you want to just use that for like a outlining of a character or something, applying the modifier can be annoying and just add to the um make your mesh or avatar perform worse. So we're going to export now, and that will be updated in Unity. Luckily, this hasn't changed much, but on occasion, this can become problematic. So let's check to see if our blend shape is available here. Key 58, right there. Key 58. So we've successfully exported our model into Unity. We've retextured it and made a blend shape. Alright. Y'all have